Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We will chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. Together we'll chant from verses 1 to 5 of chapter 3. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Mata buddhir janardana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Na karmanam anarambhat.
Na karmanam anarambhat.
Naishkarmyam purushoshnute.
Naishkarmyam purushoshnute.
न च संन्यसनादेव
न च संन्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Lord said. What did he speak? Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta mayanagha. In this world, there is this twofold path. As stated by me earlier, O Anagha, O sinless one, so when he uses the word Pura Prokta, I have stated this earlier, it is an identification with that infinite formless reality, the Guru Tattva. The infinite has many dimensions. If you ask me how many, infinite dimensions. One powerful dimension of the infinite is the Guru Tattva. And when the Guru Tattva manifests, it manifests as the Guru Shakti. And when the Guru Shakti further manifests, it can manifest as an actual person to teach you. Now, no human can impart this highest wisdom, because this wisdom is pertaining to the infinite and humans are finite. So how can any human communicate this? An individual can use many words and try a few things, but the real communication is done by the infinite alone, by the Guru Tattva, the Guru element, which is a part of the infinite. It manifests as the Guru Shakti, and that power alone teaches. So any individual who gets attuned to the infinite, now he becomes a medium through which the Guru element, the Guru Shakti communicates the truth, teaches the truth. It is not about the individual, but it is about the individual's attunement to the infinite. So whether it was 1,000,000 years ago, or whether it is right now, or whether it will be 1,000,000 years later, whenever an individual attunes to the infinite, the Guru Shakti will start manifesting through him or her, and the same truth will be given out. According to the nature of the individual, the expression may vary. It may be a different flavor, but the truth will remain the same. So Krishna, being an avatar, a direct manifestation of the infinite, he identifies with that supreme reality, which is what he is. He is an embodiment of that supreme reality. And then he says, I stated earlier, means through many, many mouths, through many, many individuals, that supreme reality has spoken. If you go to the Upanishads, all the great masters, they were all vibrating at the highest frequency, the infinite frequency. When you get attuned to their energy, you automatically get attuned to the infinite. So in any part of the world, at any point of time, if the truth is being given out, it is done by the infinite. The medium of expression may vary. At this point of time, it is Krishna who is talking in the Bhagavad Gita. Many, many rishis have spoken. Sage Narada gave the same wisdom to Valmiki. And it is not confined only to India. It could be any part of the world. Because the entire world is a part of the infinite only. So whoever gets inspired and does the sadhana, does the meditation and gets attuned to the infinite, becomes the medium through which the infinite expresses and imparts this wisdom. So that is why he says, Pura Prokta Mayanagha. So when you surrender to a master, actually you are not surrendering to the personality of the master. In case you make that mistake, if he is a true master, it's a question of time. He'll slowly make you surrender to the infinite Shakti. As far as the personality is concerned, the body will wither away at some point of time. The individual personality has no power. The power comes from the infinite only. So when you are tuned to the energy of the master, there is nothing like the energy of the master actually, if he is a true master, because he is attuned to the infinite. So when initially you may think it is the particular master's greatness. So you will try to get attuned to him. But slowly, you will begin to understand that the power comes from much a deeper source, and that is the infinite. So when he says Pura Prokta Mayanaga, if you can just get attuned to the energy of that, you will automatically get attuned to the Guru Shakti, the Guru Tattva and the infinite. It will inspire you tremendously. And it is the same infinite which is present right now also. The infinite is present, was present in the past, is present right now, and it will continue to be present in the future. So right now, if you get attuned, if you seek sincerely, the infinite will manifest as the Guru Tattva, the Guru Shakti, which will further manifest in a gross way and guide you. There is no doubt about that. So it does not matter whether you are physically close to a guru and all that. In spirituality, we don't give so much of value to that. The entire connection is at a deep level, the deepest level. Actually, he's talking of the highest form of connection, the spiritual connection. So instead of reading this like a story, oh, Krishna gave this earlier and all that, if you can get to the true spirit of what he's saying, now you will understand it is not restricted to Krishna, it is not restricted to Rama, it is not restricted to Shiva, it is not restricted to Buddha, it is not restricted to Christ. Let it be any avatar or master, let it be anyone. It is the infinite alone which can communicate. So, O Anagha, sinless one, I told you that is an expression of unconditional love and purity exhibited by Lord Krishna. Every master has nothing but unconditional love for one and all, and that expresses itself fully when a perfect student approaches the master. It is like a torchlight, you have the torchlight. Whenever you require, you switch it on. Similarly, when a proper student surrenders to a master and seeks the truth, automatically the unconditional love and grace flows from the master. In the Gita Dhyanam, he says, just as when the cow sees the calf, milk starts flowing from it. That's a motherly feeling. When a mother identifies with the baby, the milk starts flowing. It is the same principle. So when Krishna is explaining all this patiently, that shows the unconditional love. And then he says, Anagha, what amount of respect he has for Arjuna. See, the entire world respects a master, but the master does not expect all that. He is vibrating in a frequency where he respects everyone and everything. In our ancient culture, the instruments which we use, that is also a puja is done. Puja, the ritual is done. We we bow down to the instruments which we use. You see, any artist, especially in classical music and all that, before they get onto the stage, they will just touch the stage and they'll do this and they'll walk up. Before they play their instrument, whether it could be veena or anything, they will just bow down to that instrument and take it, because they consider it as a very sacred act. A yogi is one who is eternally vibrating in that kind of a frequency. Any expression he sees that as an expression of the divine. Anyone whom he meets, he immediately mentally bows down to that person. It's a state of absolute purity. He has no criticism spirit, no judgments. Sometimes while playing the role of a teacher, when the student surrenders, he may correct the student. That is for a particular purpose, because the student wants to be corrected. Student wants to develop and he has asked him for help. So it is his duty to point out certain mistakes, and he says, in these areas you can work on these areas so that you can move up to the next level. But he never gets into the spirit of judgment. Later on, this infinite patience of Krishna is further exhibited, where in one of the chapters Krishna talks of controlling the mind, and then Arjuna says, Krishna, I think this is impossible. How can the mind be controlled? And he gives various examples to try and illustrate his point. He says, according to me, the mind cannot be controlled. Now, Krishna does not get irritated. See, you should understand, Krishna is like a PhD master, and Arjuna is like an LKG student who is asking and he's disagreeing with him. That is the worst part. But what is Krishna's response is very interesting. With infinite love and patience, he says, undoubtedly Arjuna, you are correct. He kind of agrees with Krishna as it were. He kind of agrees with Arjuna as it were. And then he says, but through practice, abhyasa and all that, you can slowly bring your mind under your control. He doesn't resist Arjuna's energy. Instead, he goes along with that and infuses the right wisdom within him. And all that for whose benefit? It is for Arjuna's benefit. That is the beauty. See, you can use the same techniques. You can be very diplomatic and all that for your benefit. Here, Krishna has nothing to gain. It is Arjuna who has everything to gain. So he uses diplomacy, roundabout methods and all that to circumvent the blocks which Arjuna has within himself, with only one motive, that Arjuna can be uplifted. Let all the benefits go to him. This is the attitude of any yogi, any master. Till their last breath, they will go on serving humanity. When they sit and meditate, they radiate that energy of love, the energy of peace to the entire universe. When a yogi goes into solitude and he sits and meditates, it's the highest kind of service which he is doing to the entire universe. Long back, there was an interesting experience which I had in the Himalayas. I was there for a while to be in solitude, because in a place like the Himalayas, nobody recognizes you, so you're free, There was a Siddha there, and he had about a few disciples, and I happened to meet him. So his work was that full time, always he was just sitting and giving healing to everyone. So what I thought is, see, he is giving healing to so many people. Now let me just spend a certain amount of time every day in giving healing to him. Giving healing means invoking the higher Shakti, the highest energy, and sending it to him so that, he can maintain the health of his body. So what happened is, this was happening for a few days, and then one of his disciples came to me and said, Sir, our master wants to meet you. He was a very elderly person. He wants to meet you. So would you be able to come over? I said, yes, I'll come. And I went there. And what was interesting is, as soon as I went there, we started discussing, and the first thing he asked me was, Sir, why are you putting a block to my work, the work which I am doing? Why are you, creating hurdles? So his disciples didn't understand, because they had never seen me or him physically interacting, So they were wondering, what is he talking about? So I told him, see, they can't even understand what you're asking. So for their benefit, why don't you explain? So to which he told them, he said, see, throughout the day, I'm giving healing to everyone. Now, so that has an effect on the physical body, because the body is not resting. So when an equipment never rests, naturally something can go wrong with that. So even when the body was, sometimes he used to get fever and all that, something used to go wrong. Even during those days, he used to lie down and keep giving healing, not bothered about his health or anything, The disciples themselves actually were not aware of that. Sometimes it will look as if he is taking rest, but he never used to take rest, continuously working for the welfare of humanity. So he told them, that is what I do. That itself was surprising for his disciples. That shows, even though you may be physically close to a master, you cannot understand his ways fully, But then he says, he's now started giving me healing. To which the disciples were so happy. He said, sir, they said, sir, this is a very positive thing only. Because the moment you said, even during fever and all that you used to give, for 1 second we were concerned. So isn't it a positive thing? He said, no, the problem is the energy which is sending is the highest energy. So when I receive that, it takes me off to a very deep state of meditation. Thereafter, the focus goes away from healing to, it goes into a completely thoughtless state. That is why I am saying this is an obstacle. Very interesting. So then I told him, no sir, I am going to be here for a while. Why don't you receive that? Because a thought came. Obviously it is God who has put that thought inside this person. So if your body is maintained well, you can continue to do your work for a longer time. To which he said, no sir, the karmas are finishing. This body will be alive only for 2 more years. He said it as a matter of fact, So within that 2 years, I don't want to waste any time because just want to keep giving, that's all. That is, keep serving. So he requested me. he said, my request is if you can stop giving me healing. So then I gave him one idea. I said, sir, you do one thing. As long as I'm here, the thought is still there that healing should be given. But of course, if you say no means then I should not come and interfere. But one suggestion is that when you receive that energy, why don't you direct that same energy to everyone? So you will also receive, others can also benefit. Then he thought about it and he said, that's a good idea. His disciples were totally confused because see, they had been with him for so many years and they never even knew these aspects of their guru, Such a selfless, noble person. And it is not merely him. All the great siddhas and yogis and masters are like that only. They dedicate their lives for the sake of humanity. It's wrong to even restrict them to humanity. For the sake of the entire universe. They are full of unconditional love. And anybody who goes to them, they just shower it on them. That is what is being exhibited by Lord Krishna here, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The fact that he is speaking, see what is the level of Krishna? There is no necessity for him to speak here. If he speaks, it is Arjuna who is going to benefit. And through Arjuna, the entire humanity is going to benefit. In the same chapter later on, he will be saying that, Arjuna, understand that in the three worlds there is nothing which I require. Because I am in a state of paripurna. Yet, I keep acting. I keep doing whatever ought to be done. When I am myself doing that, it is important for you to perform your obligated duties. Later on, we'll be seeing that. So, as stated by me, O Anagha, so what is this twofold path? Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, the yoga of knowledge, Jnana Yoga for Sankhyas, and Karma Yogena Yoginam, the yoga of action for yogis. Now, the powerful word which he is using is Nishtha. Why is he using that word Nishtha here? It's a beautiful word. See, because there are several reasons. I'll be explaining to you a few dimensions of Nishtha. Then you will understand the power of that word. The first thing is, the moment we talk of path and all that, the mind always takes it as an external path. That is why last week I said, Nishtha, the first dimension of Nishtha is position or condition. So what is your internal condition? What is your internal position? Where have you placed yourself? Have you placed yourself at the level of the finite, or have you placed yourself at the level of the infinite? Have you placed yourself at the level of the physical body or the pranic body or the emotional body or the wisdom body or the Anandamaya Kosha or at the Jivatma level or at the Paramatma level? Accordingly, the internal position will change. Your internal condition will change. So he is deliberately using the word Nishtha to indicate that the path he is talking about is not external. It is an internal transformation. See, as the individual soul, you are going through various experiences in your life. That is the external path. Right from young age, if you take this birth alone, right from young age till now, you've been going through various experiences. Those experiences may have taken you from one place to another. At one point of time you are at home, another point of time you would have been at school, another point of time you would have gone to office. You may shift cities, you may shift countries. It's an external path. That is not nishtha. Then what is nishtha? When you go through the various experiences of life, supposing you go through the experiences mechanically and you keep reacting to all those experiences without any control, now you will only gather more and more karmas or psychic impressions. Then you are not in nishtha, in the internal path. You are in the external path. But as you are going through these various experiences of life, if you use those experiences to expand your consciousness, to uplift yourself internally, then you are in nishtha. That is the internal path. You cannot escape from the experiences of life. Most people, in order to get into that state of nishtha, they say, let me now cut off from the world. That's not required. Rather, that will cause a lot of suppression only, because you have taken birth, you have taken this finite form to go through certain experiences. What you need to ensure is to learn the lessons from those experiences and use those experiences to uplift your consciousness from within. Then you are in nishtha, you are in the spiritual path. You may leave everything externally, but if internally you are sitting and if your consciousness is not getting uplifted, then you are not in nishtha. Again, after a few verses, Krishna will be saying that. He says a person who cuts off all the sense enjoyments and all that externally, but he sits and internally he keeps mentally indulging in all the senses. Mithyachara sauchyate, means such a person is called a hypocrite, he says. Very, very powerful messages are going to come. But all that is will be expanded from this verse only. That is why it is very important for you to understand the deeper imports of this verse first. So there are two things which you need to do. When you go through the experiences of life, number one, you should not give up. See, there should be no tendency to run away from the world. Staying in the world, going through all the experiences, facing the challenges of the world, that is the first element of nishtha. That is what he means by karma yoga. Karma yoga means the yoga of action, experiencing the world fully. And then you should learn from the experiences. Every experience is trying to teach you something, is actually trying to mold you. The Guru Shakti, the Guru Tattva is teaching you the higher values and trying to pull you up. So when you learn the lessons of life, you get jnana. That is what he means by jnana yoga. So nishtha has these two aspects. Number one, being in the world and experiencing life fully. And number two, not get caught up with that, but complete the experiences and learn the higher lessons of life as you are going through the various experiences. That is jnana yoga. Every Sunday, when these great truths are being expounded to you, this will help you to practice this nishtha, to practice jnana yoga and karma yoga. They are not two different paths for two kinds of individuals. You have to practice both. So whenever there is a tendency to escape from the world, remember, you are moving away from nishtha. You have to get established in karma yoga. Come what may, I will do my duties. That is the spirit of a karma yogi. When we see the other dimensions of nishtha, you will get more depth, We'll see that shortly. But first, you understand the background of what he's saying. So every time you want to escape from the world, you're moving away from nishtha. So being in nishtha means facing your life, living your life fully. But if you get completely caught up with the various experiences, you're just going through the experiences mechanically without any questioning. You're just reacting to various things without any control. Now what will happen is, instead of completing the experiences, you will only keep increasing your karmas or psychic impressions. Every experience will be creating impressions in the deeper layers of your mind. Then your internal baggage will go on increasing. You will get more and more disconnected from the infinite. So when you're facing life, when you're going through life, if you go through it in that way, then again you are not in nishtha. Because your consciousness is not getting expanded, it is not getting uplifted. So when you learn the lessons, the right lessons through the various experiences, then instead of gathering more karmas, you will start burning up your karmas or impressions. You will start becoming very light. The consciousness will start getting uplifted. That is jnana yoga. Then you are in nishtha. So nishtha has these two aspects. Jnana yoga, that is gaining the highest wisdom. The karma yoga, the practical application, the facing the various experiences of life. See, in spirituality, even though he is talking of jnana yoga and karma yoga, actually there is no difference between theory and practice. In spirituality, unless you are able to practice, we don't say you have knowledge. Supposing you say, I know what is swimming, but you cannot swim actually, then you don't know what swimming is. Oh, I know how that particular sweet will taste. It will be nice, it will be this, it will be, but you have actually never eaten that. Then you don't know the taste. There is actually no difference between jnana yoga and karma yoga. They are two sides of the same coin. Knowledge without practice is no knowledge. Practice without knowledge is no practice. There will be no depth. What are you going to practice? So knowledge and practice go hand in hand. Jnana and karma go hand in hand. They complement each other. They are like the two pedals of a bicycle, You press one pedal, it will complement the other one. The other one will come up. Then you press that. They function in a complementary way. Similarly, the more jnanam you gain, that will help you to practice in your life. And the more you practice, the more jnanam you will gain. The more will become, more wisdom you will gain. So, nishtha, being that internal upliftment, has these two aspects of jnana yoga and karma yoga. Now, it is very interesting. He says, Jnana yogena sankhyanam and karma yogena yoginam. So it is as if he is dividing the people into two, Sankhyas and Yogis. And he says those who are Sankhyas should practice Jnana Yoga, those who are Yogis should practice Karma Yoga. That's how it looks, isn't it, when you read it superficially. But this is the typical style of the Shastras. See, in the scriptures, they personify everything into a form, into a person. Every object, everything in life has an energy. And the moment we talk of energy, it is a subtle form. The energy will have vibrations, and when the vibrations grossify, it will have a form. If you see the scriptures, they have always used this principle extensively. What is the Puranas? Puranas, in the Puranas, when we talk of the gods and goddesses, they are all nothing but the grossified form of the subtle energy created by the mantras. See, when you say Om Namo Narayanaya, that is a mantra. Now, when you carefully unlock that mantra, that has the energy, the vibrations, and when you grossify those vibrations, that takes a particular shape. Om Maha Ganapataye Namaha. It has a particular form. Now, initially you may relate only to the form, but actually if you get stuck with the form, then you will not reach the highest. From the form you need to move to the vibrations, from the vibrations to the energy, Shakti, and from the energy to the infinite. That is actually the spiritual path. Most people don't know that. They just get involved, they get stuck with merely the form, and they don't know the deeper sadhana using which they can expand their consciousness. Om Namah Shivaya. That has a particular energy, vibrations, and the form. This is called the mantra yantra. Yantra is a form, and mantra is the sound vibrations, sound energy through which the vibration and energy can be eked out. It is not only the external objects or external things. Everything which you speak, every word which you speak has a particular energy. Supposing you use negative words to someone, let us say to a baby, to a child, you are useless, you are useless. Supposing you keep saying that every day, that has a particular energy. That energy will get absorbed by the child. And once that energy is accepted by the child will become useless. Every word which you speak has the energy. The energy can be positive or negative. If you tell the child, you are great, you are an achiever, right from young age, then the child absorbs that energy. The child will become an achiever. It is not only your speech, your actions have energy. See, when we are talking of karma yoga, you should understand the concept of energy. Your emotions have energy. Emotions actually are a potent form of energy. In the Shastras, they say, Yatha bhavaha tatha asi. As your bhavana, as your attitude, so are you. tathasi. Your thoughts have energy. So every thought, every desire, every emotion was personified as a personality by the great yogis. It is said that there are 33 crores of gods and all that. What are these gods? Similarly, demons also, endless demons. What are these forces, the gods and demons? They are all nothing but different thoughts, different kinds of energies within you only. They have personified and given a form to all the various thoughts and emotions which you go through in life. It's very interesting. See, if you read the Puranic story, if you read the Mahashiva Purana, what happened is Shiva was married to Sati. Sati was a manifestation, partial manifestation of Shakti. She was not yet fully ready, so she had to drop the form and come back as Parvati. She had to do tapas, and then only the full union with Shiva could happen. But in the story is that Sati, goes to her father, the Daksha's yajna. Her father insults Lord Shiva by not inviting him to the yajna. And Sati goes to convince him, how can you insult Shiva? And the father insults Sati also. She gets very angry and she invokes the fire, Agni, and she gives up her body because she says, my husband Shiva did tell me not to come because he said you will not understand. I thought I'll make you understand. So I don't want to go back to him. Let me kill myself. This entire drama, each aspect of that incident has a particular significance, has so many messages. We are not getting into all that. But what is very interesting is Lord Shiva is doing his tapas and Sati burns herself, gives up her body. So without Shakti, now Shiva cannot exist. So the story is that Shiva gets disturbed. So he consciously brings out the emotion of anger. He says now Daksha should be punished. So he brings out that emotion of anger and he just takes one strand of hair from his, he's supposed to have the long hair, Jatamudi. So he took one strand of hair and infused that energy of anger in that, and he threw it on the ground. And the story is that took the shape of Veerabhadra. Veerabhadra was a powerful amsha, a powerful aspect of Lord Shiva, created with full anger energy to destroy unrighteousness. Even in the Mahashiva Dhyana, that Rudra Mukha portion, initial chanting, Om Veerabhadraya Namaha, that would have been chanted. That is to invoke that energy and direct it to burn up all the negativities. It's a very powerful energy. So what I want you to notice there is how was Veerabhadra created? From Lord Shiva only. That bhavana, that one emotion of anger directed toward destroying unrighteousness, that took the shape of Veerabhadra. This is how they have depicted it. If you read the Puranic stories, it will be very interesting. How does Lord Brahma create the world? It is through his thoughts only. Every thought takes a form. Every emotion takes a form. It becomes a person, a personality. So this is the very style of the Shastras. So it's not only in the Bhagavad Gita. You go to the Upanishad, you go to the Puranas, the Vedas. See, every aspect of nature was personified into a form. Success, for example, the energy of success, it is Lord Ganesha, abundance, Where is that energy? That energy is there outside, that energy is there inside you also. You have to invoke that from within. That is the yogic way. The Mahaganapati Dhyana, Yoga Sankirtan, which will be released soon, that is the sadhana. The energy of knowledge is Goddess Saraswati. The energy of wealth, Goddess Lakshmi. Everything is a Shakti, has the Shakti element, the energy aspect, and the form aspect also. So, here he is following the same style, and he says, Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. So if you don't understand the essence of this, you will think there are two kinds of people, Sankhyas and Yogis. Am I a Sankhya or am I a Yogi? Let me find out. It is not that. Both the Sankhyas and the Sankhya element and the Yogi element is within you only. Sometimes you are a Sankhya, sometimes you are a Yogi. Sankhya means that aspect in you, or let me put it that way, that person within you who has the ability to gain knowledge. Yogi, in this context we are talking about, yogi means that person within you who has the ability to practice the wisdom, to put the theory into practice. Both these people or both these energies are within you, both these aspects. So whenever this aspect is dominant within you, the Sankhya aspect, you need to use it to gain the Jnana Yoga. And whenever the Yogi aspect is dominant within you, you need to use it to do Karma Yoga. It is an intelligent blend of these two which can give you spiritual upliftment. Why spiritual upliftment? With respect to any field, if you want to master some skill in any field, you need to practice this. On one hand, you need to gain the knowledge. On the other hand, you need to do Karma Yoga, practice that. Many years back, I was invited to give a talk in the Stanley Medical College, here, to the youngsters, all the students, the medical students. So the topic was, it was more of an introduction, what this ancient wisdom is all about and how relevant it is, how necessary it is for all of you to gain that. So after that there was this question answer session. Of course, a lot of questions were thrown in and we had to stop at one point of time. Organizers had to come in and stop because it was going way beyond the stipulated time. Now, one student asked me an intelligent question. He said he had read the scriptures, he had read a few books here and there, and he had a little bit of knowledge. But half-baked knowledge is very dangerous. So what his question was, sir, in your entire thing, you were laying so much of emphasis on gaining the wisdom. So he said that is Jnana Yoga. But isn't Karma Yoga more important? Shouldn't we focus more on action than on knowledge? Something similar to what Arjuna is asking. Because if we keep gaining knowledge without practice, what is the use? So, isn't karma more important? Karma alone, isn't it enough? So then I asked him, what are you doing? He said, I'm studying in this college, doing my MBBS. Okay, so which year are you in? He said, I'm in the 4th year. So after that, he'll be doing his internship. He'll be a house surgeon. Totally 5.5 years the courses. So I told him, let us take your field of medicine. Now, why are you spending 4 years in gaining knowledge? Why don't you straight away go and start practicing? Get into karma, no? Become a doctor. Why are you spending 4 years? 4 years is quite a bit of time in your life. Why are you spending so much time in gaining knowledge? He instantly understood the point. And I told him, it is not only now. Throughout your life, won't you be updating yourself with the latest information, the latest developments in your field of medicine? A good doctor will do that. So, to lay emphasis only on knowledge or only on karma will lead to a lopsided result in your life, lopsided development. You need to have both. Sometimes you need to gain knowledge, sometimes you need to act. That proportion is what you need to intelligently determine, and then you need to practice. So to say that, why are you emphasizing on wisdom? The reason why I emphasized on wisdom, not in the sense of jnanam and the knowledge and action, that wisdom which gives you the information both about knowledge and action, the higher wisdom is what I was talking about. So I told him, don't get stuck with one aspect. Then your whole life will become lopsided. You have to combine all the elements, then there will be an overall growth. And it is not only with spirituality, in any field. You see, if you want to master some skill, first you need to gain the knowledge, then you need to practice. And through a combination of this knowledge and practice, you will slowly gain mastery over that particular skill. Whether it is drawing or painting or singing or dance or computer science, the medical field, engineering, law, any field you take, cooking, there is always jnana yoga and karma yoga. There is knowledge and practice. So one who intelligently combines jnana and karma, jnana yoga and first we'll see jnana and there is knowledge and action in life, will become very successful. Now when you apply the same principle with respect to spirituality, he is calling it as jnana yoga, karma yoga. Yoga is derived from the Sanskrit word yuj. Yuj means to unite with that infinite. So that jnana, that knowledge which helps you to unite with the infinite is called jnana yoga. And karma yoga, not merely karma. When you do the actions and when you use the actions to unite with the self, then it becomes karma yoga. So he says, jnana yoga and karma yoga need to be intelligently combined. Then you are in the state of nishtha. But the moment you miss out on any one aspect, you're moving away from the path, from the internal path. So there is no contradiction here. Some people ask, is Jnana Yoga superior or Karma Yoga superior? That question itself is meaningless. It is like asking, is eating important, that is chewing and eating, gulping the food, is that important, or is digestion important, or circulation is important? Every aspect of your every physiological function is important. And if one goes wrong, it can affect all the other functionings. That is what you need to understand. A person who doesn't focus on one aspect of these two will slowly lose the other aspect also. If you don't practice at all and you're only theorizing the whole thing, then after you will not be able to gain the wisdom. Whatever knowledge you have also will go away. It will create so much of confusion, And if you're focusing on action and you're not updating yourself, you're not learning, you're not gaining that knowledge, then over a period of time again you will lose whatever skills you have. So as a sadhak, now you have to be in nishtha, as he says, dvividha nishtha. He is very, very carefully describing that nishtha. He says nishtha, dvividha nishtha, he says. So, in an indirect way, in a very polite way, he is demolishing the very question of Arjuna. Why are you asking me to act? Isn't knowledge superior? All these things Arjuna was asking. Now, it looks as if Krishna is talking in an indirect way, but if you just go along with that flow and if you get that message, the question itself will get dissolved. See, there are two ways of answering. One is there is a question and you give an answer to that question. That is not the approach which our masters take. The other way is you give the answer in such a way that the question itself gets dissolved. That is a powerful approach which Krishna takes. So, what is this Dvividha Nishtha? A combination of Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. This is number one. Then, the question comes as to what about Bhakti Yoga? Why hasn't he mentioned about Bhakti Yoga? Now, in some translations, it's very funny. Those people who lay a lot of stress on Bhakti Yoga, when it comes to Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, they say it is the yoga of knowledge. And when it comes to Karma Yogena Yoginam, they translate the word karma as devotion, just to infuse their idea or their philosophy into it. That is not the correct way. Here he is clearly saying Karma Yogena Yogina. So this Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga should not be confused with the Karma Bhakti Jnana in a general way which we say. Do actions and then gain knowledge and then have devotion. So incidentally, he has not left out Bhakti Yoga. That is what we'll see. Nishtha, one dimension of Nishtha. Nishtha means devotion, close attachment. That is attachment in a positive way. Bhakti, Nishtha means bhakti, devotion. Nishtha also means faith, belief. I'll explain these dimensions a little more in depth. But first, we will resolve that question also, where people ask, where is Bhakti Yoga? So the moment we talk of Nishtha, it means bhakti, it means faith. See, without the basic faith, without the basic belief and devotion, there is no spirituality. You cannot exist without faith. Even a scientist who says, now let me discover this. Now he has a faith or he has a belief that there is a possibility of discovering that, whatever it is. Otherwise, he will not get into that pursuit at all. So, a human being is inherently made of faith and belief that cannot be taken away. As a child, when your parents told you, we are your parents, you took it on faith. You may say, no sir, DNA tests have come on. That is and all later only. But you are calling them your parents based on knowledge or faith. Just think about it. If you are sitting right now and listening to this wisdom, you are sitting in a room and listening, right? What is the guarantee that the ceiling will not fall down? No, I am not unnecessarily putting any fear in you. This is just an analysis we are making. What is the guarantee? It is faith only. Have you gone and certified? Have you seen exactly what is the combination of cement and sand and all they used? Did you check every step when they were building this roof, which is right now on top of your head? It is a general faith. Certified engineers have built that, so it will not fall. If you don't have that faith, your life will become miserable. Every second you will start doubting. So faith, belief is an inherent part of our life, of our existence. So when the same faith is applied in spirituality, it becomes devotion. As Rabindranath Tagore said, faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. What a beautiful statement this is, Before the light comes, the bird sings with faith. That is what is faith. It feels the light. That is devotion. Before Rama went to rescue Sita, Hanuman first went and gave her the ring from Rama, That ring represents the faith. The moment she saw that ring, even a little bit of doubt which she had that whether Rama will come or not, that concern went away. She developed immense faith. Entire Puranic incidents are full of faith only. The power of Lord Hanuman was faith, was devotion. So, even though he is not mentioning Bhakti Yoga separately, he says Nishtha is, the foundation of Nishtha is devotion. If you don't have devotion, you are not in the path at all. Then where is the question of whether I should practice Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga? Which path should I take? You are not in the path at all. Just as sweetness is an aspect of sugar, you cannot separate sweetness from sugar. Similarly, you cannot separate devotion from spirituality. The devotion is that inner feeling of surrender which you develop towards the infinite. You call the infinite in any way you want. You call the infinite as infinite or as God or by some other name. Some people say, I believe only in nature. Doesn't matter. Some higher power, when you surrender to that is called devotion. And by using the word Nishtha, he has already created the foundation. Whether you are gaining knowledge or whether you are putting that knowledge into practice, Karma Yoga, devotion is the base. When you don't have devotion, then there is no question of progressing spiritually. So he is not neglecting Bhakti Yoga. Actually, by not mentioning Bhakti Yoga here, he is giving more importance to Bhakti. He is saying the very path itself is devotion only. And the Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga support that devotion, enhance that devotion, make you go more deep within yourself and get attuned to the higher, get attuned to the infinite. So, very, very powerful. So, these are the three things. Nishtha means devotion. Devotion, see in the 9th chapter, he'll be saying that without any other thought, just focus on me. Me means the infinite. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Complete, without, ananya means without any other, chinta means without any other thought. Ye jana paryupasate. Just focus on the infinite. I will give you yoga, I will give you kshema. The worldly success also will be provided. The spiritual success also will be provided. In the 12th chapter, the entire 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga. So how can he not emphasize on Bhakti? Since Arjuna was asking about knowledge and action, he is explaining the whole philosophy in Arjuna's language, in Arjuna's way. So it looks as if he is explaining about jnana and karma and all that. But bhakti is inherent. Just by using the word nishtha, he is setting the base. He is setting the foundation, a very strong foundation. So if you want to grow spiritually, these are the three things required. Number one, the base faith, devotion. Devotion towards the higher. Devotion and faith towards the master who is guiding you. And devotion and faith towards yourself in your abilities. Some people say, I am very devoted to God, but I am useless. What am I? I am nothing. No. You are a sadhak. I have the capacity. That is a self-belief. So when we talk of devotion and faith, these three faiths are required to grow spiritually. Faith towards the higher, faith towards the master, because without that faith you cannot receive if you are constantly doubting. And then faith in your own abilities, self-confidence and self-faith. With these three aspects of devotion, you can grow spiritually. You are in the you have laid the foundation of nishtha. And then the second and third aspect, gain the wisdom and put it into practice in your life. Everything which you are gaining, even right now, whatever wisdom you are gaining, now start practicing them in your life. Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. You are a combination of Sankhya and you are a yogi. These are two different aspects within you. So if you look at this verse superficially, there is a lot of division. But if you go deeper, you will find there is a beautiful blend. This gives the entire sadhana for you in a nutshell. As I told you, the remaining chapters, not only the third chapter, rest of the chapters are going to be an expansion of this verse. Okay, so you think about this. We'll stop here. In the next session, I will give you a few more dimensions of Nishtha, very, very powerful dimensions. If you absorb them, you will become firmly established in your path. See, unless you get that kind of a firmness, just to mechanically go and read the other verses, there is no meaning. When we go verse to every verse and take out the sadhana messages, you should have that power to practice them. Absorbing the energy of Nishtha alone gives you that power. It makes you a powerful sadhak. Okay? So before meditation today, I'll take up a question. I'm taking up this question which is related to the 22-day empowerment course which we are going to have. This question has been asked by Subramanianji. Hari Om Yogishri. This year we are planning to register for our 1-year-old baby Darsha for Anandoham empowerment program. I think it was last week, Amrita had also asked a question about registering for her child. Now, this very idea is so inspiring, isn't it? How some parents get this thought of registering for their babies, for their children. This is a strong proof of the law of karma. See, the child's karmas is creating that thought. Thereafter, you also have your free will, whether to act upon it or not and all that. But see, whatever you deserve to get in life, you will get it. This is a proof of that. What does the child know? Has the child expressed anything? No. But still, you're getting the thought. That very principle is so inspiring. Your life is an infinite journey from birth after birth. So the fact that you are getting the thought means your child is having the past and it's coming from that past. It has done sadhana and it wants to receive the next level of empowerment. So that energy is pulling you and you start thinking that way. That shows that if you seek, see, don't worry about results and all that. You will get whatever you deserve in life. That infinite will help you in infinite ways. So it's very inspiring. The question is, since it is going to be 22-day program and also from our past experience in the Yoga Sankirtan intensive empowerment, we found that is the baby, was at times in deep meditation, but at times playing. Now when it comes to my wife, she found it little hard to fully get the experience from the empowerment since she was with the baby during the empowerment, mostly eyes open. Sometimes I saw my wife was also frustrated towards the end of the meditation program. So my question is whether this is okay to attend in this way. Kindly help us understand how to make arrangements, or is it okay for my wife to do the meditation sadhana a second time during the course of the day when someone else can take care of the baby? With sincere regards, Subramanian. It's a practical question which you have asked. Now, before I get to the answer, sir, you have said that sometimes the baby is in deep meditation, sometimes it is playing. All that is your judgment, your interpretation. Even though your judgment is positive here, my request to you would be not to get into that kind of a thought, thinking that sometimes baby is meditating or playing, sometimes it is playing, sometimes it is crying. See, the baby has its own way of receiving the higher energy. The connection is not at the external level. The connection is at the soul level. You cannot judge and say sometimes it is meditation. Even when the child is playing, the child is receiving only. Even if the child sleeps, the child will be receiving. See, last week itself I told you, for baby and very elderly people, when I say very elderly people, people who are unable to do the sadhana fully, that is what I mean by elderly. It's not that I am classifying someone as old and all that, it's not that. Or even with sometimes, people who are bedridden, but they want to get the empowerment. They have requested and they put a separate request, I am not able to sit. So can I just lie down? That's okay. We cannot put too many rules for them. Especially when it comes to babies. They don't receive this higher energy in the way an adult does. Please understand this. It will look as if the child is playing. The child will pick up everything. Even if the child does not attend the program, it will continue to receive. You may wonder how. That's very difficult to explain that. Because the connection is at the subtler level. So, don't keep watching the baby, whether the baby is meditating or playing, whether it's receiving. Once you have registered, that's it. The connection is established. Like I told you, in the Yoga Sankirtan program, when the empowerment was given, the soul of one particular baby, it was a newborn baby, that soul came and received the energy maximum. Or what was it doing? Actually sleeping, physically. That's how the parents will view it. But the soul was receiving. So till a certain age, there are no rules for sadhana. The baby is in a very pure state, innocent state. So the connection will be very powerful at a subtle level. So as far as you're concerned, you both have to do the sadhana. And before I even tell you what to do, you're saying your wife has this problem. It is always advisable. One who has a problem should ask the question. In the yogic approach, we never encourage another person asking on behalf of another person. Sometimes when parents bring their children, when I ask a question to the child, the parents give an answer. What is your name? Immediately the parent gives the answer. What do you do at home? Immediately the parent says, he plays, he does this. So then I tell the parents, why don't you go out, let me interact with your child fully. You're not allowing the child to open up. So many a times what happens is we tend to ask or we tend to talk on another person's behalf. No. But today anyway I'll answer this because it will be useful for many others also. But remember this, when you attend an empowerment, when you come for these sessions, you are an individual and you have an independent relationship with the master. So externally in the world, you may be husband and wife, friends, mother, father, daughter, or son, all these things. But here, don't bring those relationships. So, as far as doing the sadhana is concerned, what is advice? See, if the child is sleeping or not disturbing, or the child is, as you said, meditating or quiet, then you can do the sadhana with the child. Otherwise, you split the sadhana into two. One is the lecture part, other is the meditation part. The lecture part, let the child be there, even if it is playing and all that, no issue. You will still be able to receive. When the meditation starts, it's better that one of you take care of the child and the other one does the sadhana. So you find a suitable time for each other. So when one is attending, let the other person take care of the child. So when your wife is doing taking the empowerment, you take care of the child. That is your duty. When you are taking the empowerment, let the wife take care of the child. Now, if you say, no, we want the child also to be there, then best is you have to assess your child when the child is very quiet or when it is sleeping and all that time you can do the sadhana. So this way, you will also not be frustrated, and at the same time, the child will also receive the empowerment. See, it's not necessary for the child to sit there, keep the palms like this and close your eyes. All these things are not required. Okay? So the seeds will be sown at the soul level. That is for sure. The other practical things now you work out. As far as you are concerned, ensure that there is no disturbance. As far as the empowerment is concerned, during your daily sadhana it is fine. But during the empowerment, if the disturbance is too much, then the other partner can always take care. Just for that 1 hour. No? What is the big deal in that? Okay, but it is not advisable to watch the meditations twice and all that. Remember, it is every empowerment session is kept for 20 hours because of the time zone differences. But the empowerment is so powerful, dosage is so important. So if you watch it twice and all, and if you're unable to handle the energy, then it will become difficult. Okay, so watch it only once. The empowerment should be whatever is prescribed, just follow those rules. Okay, so if you have any further clarifications on this, do send your queries. I will answer all of them. So now we'll do the meditation. Sit in a relaxed way. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. beyond my body, beyond my emotions, beyond my thoughts, lies my essential Supreme Self. As the Jivatma, the individual soul, I choose to be in the state of Nishtha, the inner path of self-expansion. I surrender to the infinite Guru Tattva and Guru Shakti and request for higher blessings to be ever established in the state of Nishtha. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So reflect on the points which have been given to you. The base or the foundation of your path, Nishtha, is devotion. And then you need to intelligently combine knowledge and action, theory and practice. Without devotion, there is no path. Without knowledge, you cannot progress. Without karma, again you cannot progress. So all these three are like pillars of a building. Without the pillars, the building will collapse, no? So if you want to grow spiritually, you need to absorb these principles. And not only that, in any area of your life, if you don't have a basic devotion, bhavana, that spirit, that emotion is not there, then that action will not have that power. And then you need to combine the theory and practice intelligently to master that skill. So you reflect on these points and start practicing them. Next week, I'll give you a few more dimensions of Nishtha, and then we'll proceed further. Okay, so as far as the 22-day Anandoham empowerment is concerned, it is the energy of infinite happiness, once in a lifetime experience. So it's important for you to do your sadhana regularly. That preparatory meditation which has been given to you every day in the evening. Sincerely do that, because whole night that will keep working. A lot of healing energy is being sent. But as I told you, only after you register. The moment you register, do it in a conscious way. It's a commitment which you're making. Then this energy will start flowing. So the preparatory meditation is very important, along with your regular sadhana. Remember that. That goes without saying. No excuses or no lenience. Some people wonder whether a yogi will be lenient. No. When it comes to sadhana, he'll be very strict only. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.